Hello everyone, Mr. John here from Areteem Institute with this week's Thursday Tidbit, continuing our discussion of white elephant gift exchanges that probably a lot of people are participating in now. Of course, there are many different setups, many different rules. Check out last week's video linked below if you want a more introductory discussion of all of these things. Let's talk about the setup we're going to be dealing with for our questions today. We have 8 people participating. We're going to call them P1, P2 up to P8, etc. with 8 gifts, A, B, C, D, etc. We're not worrying about scenarios where people leave with their own gift. That's definitely possible. The first person starts by picking a gift. The rest can either pick a gift or steal from one of the gifts available. If that person's gift is stolen, they then have the same choices. So everybody after the first person, whether they're picking the first time or their gift was stolen, they can always do this pick or steal. Just so we don't have infinite loops, each gift can be stolen at most 2 times. This will be enough to make things quite complicated, which we'll see. And I want to stress our final rule, as this will be important when we do problems as well. Gifts cannot be stolen back immediately. With a lot of these something is impossible statements, you actually want to think about what is possible and what is implied to be possible based on the rule. If a gift cannot be stolen back immediately, that means that the gift can be stolen back later. So what do we mean by immediately? If I'm the first person, I pick a gift. If the second person steals my gift, I can't turn around right away and say, no, I want that gift back. That makes stealing a little bit boring that way. If you like your gift, you're just going to steal it back and then it's locked. Things are not so interesting there. But if my gift gets stolen, I pick a new gift, that gets stolen. Now I can pick my first gift back. And things like that are definitely possible, which we need to keep in mind with our questions here. Question 1, again, set up in last week's video. We want to consider one single gift. Say gift A. Again, this could be the same for any specific gift. The key here is we're focused on one specific gift here. And we want to talk about how many different journeys it could have during the gift exchange. When we start counting this will make a little bit more clear what the journeys mean and things like that there. Now we could have a boring or short journey to start, but definitely possible. So definitely one thing that can happen here is that the journey is just one person. For example, P1 picks the gift, nobody steals it. It just was with P1 the whole time. Or maybe P2 picks the gift. No one else steals it, etc. So this is pretty clear then that we are going to just have 8 ways for this to be done. We have just a single person picking the gift, and then we have things there. Now, 2-person journey is something that's going to be a little bit more interesting here. Now, I want to prime us for some discussions later. The 2-person journey is the same as talking about a 1 steal journey as well. So here we kind of have 2 different people that are kind of going on and we're thinking about there. So we have, in a sense, 2 choices that we need to make and think about there. Now let's talk about one thing that we might worry about first. And this gets a little bit interesting and we need to review the rules and think about stuff a little. Let's consider P8 picking the gift first. Well, here's where we need to be a little bit careful of things. Because if P8 is the first person picking gift A, this would mean that gift A is the last chosen. But wait a second, once the gift is the last chosen, that means the game is over, or the white elephant is done in that scenario. So this position we need to be a little bit careful about there. We have a game over in this scenario here. So we can't pick P8 in this scenario. So let me erase all of this here and then say that this first gift here is not P8. So we definitely have 7 choices for that there. So that's something that we want to worry about and think about in this case. I am going to label the choices here. So when we're counting this, we have 7 choices up there for that first gift there. Person 1, 2, 3, right? The first person to pick up to the 7th person to pick could all take that gift there. Now, here is where it is important that we're just worried about the journey of this gift at this point. So one question you might have is, okay, well, we have 7 people for the first gift. That means there's 7 other people available, right? Could any of the 7 or any of the others steal? That's a question you at least want to ask yourself there. And now it turns out that the answer there is yes. You might be a little worried about this. This is where for these counting questions, you're going to need to go back and do some details and some thinking in that case. You might be totally okay with a later person stealing, right? If we choose P3, it's pretty obvious that P6 could steal the gift, or P8, right? Any of those others is that other 7 people that we didn't have first pick the gift. You might be a little worried and say, well, wait a second. If P4, if the 4th person picks the gift A first, could P3 steal gift A? Well, yeah, because, okay, if P4 picks the gift, P5 steals one of those earlier person's gifts, now they could steal gift A. So these types of things are possible there. We just have 49 or 7 times 7 ways for this 2-person, 1 steal case there. Now, we're out of room here. You should be thinking, well, wait a second, what about 2 steals? Or what about 3 people things there? That's good. We need a little bit more room. Spoiler warning for that here. Keeping track of what we have so far, there are 8 ways with 1 person. There are 49 ways with 2 people, which we said was the 1 steal case. Now let's think about the 3-person or 3 people situation that we could have here. Now, to start, we have a similar type of argument as before. So we could think of 3 people here, right, that are chosen. So we have not P8 for the beginning. So there are 7 choices to start with. And then, okay, any of the others can steal the thing there. We said we don't need to worry about that being a different person or things like that in this scenario. And then let me still label this as others. There are 6 other people, again, because of stealing and stuff like that there. we have 776 ways in this scenario here. So this is 294 additional outcomes that we have here. Now, I'm giving myself a little bit of extra room. Pause for a moment here, ask yourself, well, is something missing? Are we missing scenarios there? Remember that there's 3 people, and I'm going to put people actually in quotes here, right? This is our 2 steal case in this scenario. There's nothing wrong with what we have here. This is definitely going to be included in our answer here. So we can highlight that and include it there. But I want to describe and try to understand what we're actually counting here. And this will be important for the other case, the thing we're missing in this scenario. Right? This is the case of no stealback. Remember, A could be stolen twice, and it's possible that a person who already had A gets it back. So what is possible if we allow the stealback? What if we have a yes stealback case? How could we think about that there? Now, this starts the same, right? Not P8, there are 7 choices for who gets the gift first. There are still 7 choices for an other person there, right? If it's a steal back, it has to be stolen to another person once before, right? But wait a second, if we say steal back, there's only 2 steals. So this actually then has 1 choice for who stealbacks, right? It's back to the first person. That's the only way that it can be stolen back. So in fact, this outcome, the number of outcomes here is a little bit less. It's actually, and another way to organize this might be to think back to our 2-person or people case. It's very similar to that. In that scenario, we're just adding, okay, well, the other scenario is it's stolen back to that first person here. So just, even though we've already calculated that number once, for completeness, let's put it here as well. So this is our 49 ways there. And now we could go back and make sure we organize things for our final answer. Our final total number of outcomes is adding all of these things together. So 8 plus 49 plus 294 plus 49 again. And this gives us in total 400 outcomes there. So this is our total number of outcomes. Let's just make sure that is clear as our final answer there as well. And this is a perfect example of how counting questions get a little bit tricky. None of the counting we did was that difficult. 7 times 7 times 6, 7 times 7 times 1, all pretty much product rule here. It's thinking carefully. It's thinking through those cases that are what's really important. And you have to take some time, write out the examples, understand what's going on when you're answering these questions. Now, let's quickly talk about our second question here. We're not going to do this in as much detail, but I want to give you the general idea and see if you can think about what's going on here. Now, consider P1, so the person picking first. This is just to help clarify, okay, do we have to worry about how the stealings are happening or stuff like that? We have less worry about those things here. How many different journeys of presents So when we're talking about journeys here, right? Okay, they could pick present C, or maybe they pick present B, or maybe they pick present C and it's stolen, and then they pick present B. Things like that there. So, pretty simple cases, at least to start. And this also shows that some of these cases, we're going to consider 2 cases. Actually, they're going to have a bunch of cases built in. So when I say all different gifts here, this is where I want to speed up a little bit. Well, maybe they just pick one gift. Well, there's 8 choices for which gift they get. Those gifts are in no particular order. If we're picking first as P1, 8 choices. Well, maybe that gift is stolen. So we still had 8 choices for our first gift. We still want to keep track. I started with gift B, then it got stolen, then I got gift E. Things like that there. So it could get stolen, and then when we pick our second gift, we can't steal it back, but we have 7 choices for a different gift there. It's not stolen, so 8 times 7. We could continue doing this. If it's stolen again, 8 times 7 times 6, all the way down to a total 8 factorial. Remember, this is 8 times 7 times 6, all the way down to 1. We pick all of the gifts, it's stolen, right? The simplest way to think about this is just in order. I pick first, I get one of the 8 gifts, it's stolen. I pick another of the 7 gifts, it's stolen. I pick one of the remaining 6 gifts, it's stolen, blah, blah, blah. All the way down, people keep stealing my gift. I pick a new gift each time until I pick the last gift there. Now, I don't even really want to worry about numbers right here. I'll let you calculate these if you want. They're a little bit messier. It's more important in these counting questions to think about the cases and the ideas. You can always go back and calculate things later. So this scenario isn't too difficult to understand. Let's think about the steal back case a little bit. Now this one is a little bit tricky. So let's look at an example of this to start, or we'll look at a few examples here. I'm not going to write out the full explanation of what happens, but for example, we could have something like, suppose I pick gift A. That gift is stolen from me. I can't steal it right back, so I have to pick a new gift. Maybe I pick gift C. But if that gift is stolen, assuming gift A isn't stolen in the meantime, which we can assume, that's possible that it's not stolen again, I could steal it back. Notice that this is finished. Once I steal back A, that means it was stolen from me, I'm stealing it back, and we are done. And this is where things might seem very complicated, but it's not too horrible. Let's write out what could happen in this scenario. So this first case we're saying is that I pick a gift, it's stolen, I pick a new gift, or P1 picks a new gift, and then I steal back only my first gift. I can't immediately steal back that second gift, but I could steal back the first gift there. What if this chain went a little bit longer? So for example, I picked A, C, and then E. Notice in this scenario, I could steal back gift C. So I want to leave that as an example here. Because our second case then is 8 times 7 times 6. This should remind us of the pattern we had above. Now we could steal back any of our 2 earlier gifts there. And hopefully this pattern, it's easy to see this continues a little. We could have a longer chain. I pick a gift, it's stolen. I pick a gift, it's stolen. Now I'm sick of this. I'm going to pick one of my 3 gifts at the beginning and get it back. Now, we need to be a little careful, and we'll talk for 1 second about this there for how we finish up this pattern there. Now, we had this issue with P8 in the previous question, because if P8 is picking the last gift, then that means the game is over. In fact, the same type of thing happens here. As soon as the last gift is chosen, the game is ended. So our last case, we can't actually go all the way down to this full 8 factor. We could say, okay, we go all the way down to, I get down to having 2 gifts left. But then I need to steal back one of my earlier gifts there. So that is 6 choices. So this would be our last case there. In summary for this question, again, I'm not going to worry about the final actual answer here. We have all different gifts, or we have this steal back case there. We would, of course, add these together to get our final answer in this setup as well. That one gets a little complicated. Maybe focus on the first question to make sure you understand that, and then try to tackle this one more as well. But that will be the end of this video here. Thank you for watching. Give us a like, subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out as well. And if you have ideas or comments for new topics or what we should cover next or into the new year, let us know in the comments below. Thanks all for watching. Goodbye.